Hello, and today we'll be playing Violet Memoir. So we're up to date with Oscar's route, and if a new update for his route comes up, I'll play it, but in the meantime we're going to start Leigh's route. And if you can hear cricket noises out here, just ignore it. I'm playing this at 5 a.m., so usually in August and September, these crickets around my house, they're going to be very loud, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. So with the possum. Thanking whoever he is probably the most courageous, the most courteous thing to do, especially after he saved not just me, but my wallet too. A new laptop would have cost me an arm and a leg if things went really bad. Racing out the door, I went right past the other. He looks like he's about to stop me, but changes his mind. Instead, he just gives me a little wave, the smile never leaving his face. Turn the corner, I barely catch the edge of a leather jacket exiting the side door of the building. I'm about to let out a loud groan before remembering how many people are around me. Not wanting to draw attention, I swallow it back down. Picking up my pace again, I'm back to chasing the marsupial down the hallway. After a couple seconds of running, I'm bursting through the door and almost running into some railing. Reaching out for the door handle, I'm barely able to latch onto it before I lose all balance. I look down the unfamiliar stairs around me, confused for only a moment before I figure out where exactly this is. It's a fire exit skilling the side of the building. It leads down to the road that connects to the lower part of the campus. I can't help but worry that I might have tripped some alarms. Some fire escapes have alarms that trigger when they're open, right? Looking around, I notice something else too. Right below me is the guy I've been chasing, looking up towards me from the bottom of the stairs. Confused and concerned of covering his face, his eyebrows furrowing in a way that makes him look too old to be fresh out of high school. You okay, kid? I'm not. Yeah, I'm fine, yeah. Sorry. I must have given you a fright. You're fine. I've heard much worse shit coming for doors than one being slammed open. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to respond to that. What does that even mean? I close the door and hop my way down the stairs, feeling awkward as he waits for me in silence. When I reach the bottom, the intimidating possum is standing straight, his arms crossed. Honestly, I expected him to have a slouch with his hands in his pockets. I guess that would be rather cliche. This isn't some teen movie. Looking into his emerald eyes, there's a look of expectation in them that contrasts his blank expression. So, well, I just wanted to say thanks. You really saved my butt there. Oh, it was nothing. I feel immensely awkward now. I didn't really plan what to do after I thanked him. I'm not used to talking to people. After a couple more seconds of silence, he turns away and starts walking down the path. I considering letting him go, but I didn't just rush all the way out here to say thanks and leave. My name is Wallace. I blurted the words out, not really thinking. I just needed to say something to stop him from leaving. My paws are becoming slick with sweat and my heart is racing. I'm having trouble keeping my breathing steady now. Is this a panic attack? I haven't had one in years. I don't really remember them well. His big ears twitch and he looks back over his shoulder, slowing down to a stop. Well, Wallace Stewart, it's good to meet you. He continues staring at me even though I know he isn't that bad. I feel nervous on his gaze. So nervous that my hands begin fidgeting with the buttons on my shirt. Leigh. What? That's my name. Oh, that's a unique name. I haven't heard it before. Yeah, it certainly is. Again, his wording causes me to stall, unable to figure out how to respond. The silence returns and it's not long before Leigh begins to walk away again. This time I'm not sure what I can say to continue the conversation. I'm just holding him up at this point. It's best if I just let him go. As if despite my expectations, he stops after a few steps to look back at me again. "You coming?" The dumbfounded expression on my face must be amusing because for a second I can see the corners of my mouth, and the corners of his mouth twitch into a smile. There's a swelling of glee inside me, and the smile growing on my face feels larger than any I've had in a long time. God must look so stupid. Yeah, sure. Catching up to him, he returns back to his regular face with his regular pace. Catching up to him, he returns back to his regular pace. He's been walking slower to give me chances to talk. The thought of that causes the insides of my ears to burn. I can't explain why, but I'm feeling flustered. Now that I'm right next to him, though, I can see his limp again. I almost forgot about it. He's putting a significant weight onto his left leg, but he doesn't look unsteady. In fact, he looks like he could take a tackle if he needed to. So, kid, were you wanted to talk since we're in the same group? We're in the same group? Yeah, you're Wallace Stewart, which is in the same group as me, Group F. Before I can respond, he's already fishing something out of his jacket pocket. It's a notepad. He flicks through it for a few seconds before showing me a page. Written across the fifth line is Group F, Lucas Brindley, Oscar Castle, Lily Rose, Ashley Scott, and Wallace Stewart. Did you write that down as he was giving it? Yeah, I thought I should. Might make shit easier. Including your own name? Yeah, I'm not good at note-taking, so I'm just writing everything he has as he says it. If it seems like it's important. You're a lot more prepared than I expected. His stare hardens for a second. I think he's mad, but it's more like he's just focused. I'm not smart, so I gotta try really fucking hard. I will admit, you don't give off the trying hard at academics aura. No offense, I'm just meaning sense. It's fine, I know. Don't stress yourself, kid. He gives me a smile, just like his previous one. It's a very toothy smile. He really is rather charming. I thought this guy was a delinquent. What's wrong with me? I never thought I'd be the judgmental type. Why are you trying so hard then? Would you rather I didn't? He's got a confused look on his face again. His nose scrunching up and his ears standing more at attention. God, I'm bad at this. No, I didn't mean. I mean, why are you going to university then? Not that you can't, but again, kid, calm down. I'm not gonna bite your head off. Right? Sorry, I'm just not used to this. Used to what? Talking? Yeah, I've always been kind of a loner, so I don't really talk to people often. Well, don't stress so much about me. I'm not some kind of thug who's going to beat you up as much as I look like one. Wait, no, I didn't mean to imply you look like a thug. He gives me that smile again, this time lifting one of his arms to give me a pat on the back. Hey, it's okay. I know how I look. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't think you look bad, just intimidating. That's working. Why do you want... So you're wondering why I'm at college? Oh, yeah. That subject change is so obvious to not notice, but I don't want to pry too much. He's been really nice so far, so no need to push my luck. I just need to get a higher paying job. I need to help support my family, well, my sister. Oh, what's this like? He suddenly stops and I feel a chill run up my spine. Did I mess up? How about this? I'll tell you after we be up again on Wednesday. Sure, cool. I would carry on, but we're at my stop. I blink for a second before looking around. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to my surroundings. I didn't realize we left the alleyway at all. We're in the middle of a supermarket parking lot. I'm about to say something when he holds out a piece of paper, causing my voice to get snagged in my throat. It takes me a second to respond, but I gently grab the paper from his clawed fingers. All that's written down is a series of numbers. It's my phone number. We're gonna be working together. Be best to share. Oh yeah, let me just send you a message. Do that on the way home. I gotta hurry. My sister will be getting hungry soon, and she'll hold that over me all night. Right, sorry. I'll let you go on your way. Thank you. No need to be so formal, kid. Just relax. He offers a handshake, and I get a proper look at both of his hands. Their texture looks coarse and rough. I think I've even seen a few scars on them. There's a moment of hesitation before I take his hand, caution painting my movements. I don't think he'll hurt me intentionally, but I got a feeling this guy is a bit stronger than he looks, and I don't want my hand crushed. To my surprise, he's very delicate. I'll catch you later, kid. Yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks a lot for today. Bah, it's no stress. I'm not just gonna let you follow your face. He lets out a bellowing laugh. I can feel the vibrations of his deep bass despite the gap between us. It's reassuring, and without thinking, I'm laughing alongside him. He's like a rock holding me up, strong and sturdy. Now get. It's gonna get dark soon, and make sure you eat. I know you types tend to forget a lot. The sudden coddling has my face flushing. Normally, I protest, but I feel like he's not the kind of guy who'd take that. All I do is give him a small nod. That's what I like to see. With that final statement, he turns and disappears. Through the sliding doors, he doesn't even give me a chance to respond. I stand there for a few seconds, processing what just happened. I think I just made a friend, though honestly it feels more like I gained another parent. He's a pretty cool guy, a lot more charming and gentle than one would expect. I can't wait to talk to him more on Wednesday. Back at the apartment is surprisingly silent, almost eerie. I'm not sure if it's because people are out partying out studying for their new class, or just resting up after their first day. As I unlock my room, it opens up into cold darkness. Having a roommate is great for privacy, but it's a little lonely having no one else to come home to. I try to ignore the yearning for home and flicker on the lights. It's not too cold yet. The autumn weather only gives the room a cool wisp that makes my fur tingle. I place my laptop back on the desk and look around at the sparse furniture located across the room. The bedside tables can barely be called drawers. I'm not sure how they expect us to fit all our clothes. In a single one, I'd be able to fit a couple shirts and pants along with my underwear at best. Maybe they thought we split the closet between the both of us, but even with that, we wouldn't have much space. I'd probably open my luggage bag and get to work putting away what I can, hanging up the few formal clothes I have in the closet and stuffing the rest in the two nightstands. After putting away my shirts in the top drawer of my would-be roommate's nightstand, I try to do the same with my pants, but the bottom drawer won't come out. For a second, I wonder if it's locked before realizing that's stupid, because why would only one nightstand have a lock? After a few more gentle pulls, I began to lose my patience and put all my weight into dislodging the drawer. For God's sake, just come out. I'm moments away from giving up when I feel it start to budge, but before I can celebrate, I'm being flung away onto my back. A loud crashing sound thunders throughout the room, and a sudden and a surge of pain runs up my leg. Groaning, I sit up and assess the damage, checking over my leg for any injuries to match a spiking ache running up my shin. But there doesn't look to be any real damage. Instead, I find the entire drawer dislodged from the nightstand next to me. It must have smacked my leg on the way out. Ignoring the dull pain, I picked up the drawer and slid back over to the nightstand, but I stopped when I noticed a glimpse of purple. Leaning closer, I can see a thin book hidden below the bottom drawer. Someone must have really wanted to hide whatever this is. I removed the book from its hiding place. The word diary is the first thing that catches my eye. A small twinge of curiosity rises within me, but I push it down. I don't want to invade someone's privacy, but what should I do? So I just put it back? Well, that seems a bit pointless. Whoever lived here probably forgot about it. It wouldn't be here otherwise. Toss it away, but they might have accidentally left it behind and want it back. Best case scenario would be returning it to them, but where would I even start? I don't even know who this belongs to, let alone how old this book is. With a deep sigh, I fall back onto my bed. I need some leads to go on. I think I'll skip this part here. I always see this part here. My phone startles me out of my melancholy. I'm expecting it to be Leigh again, telling me someone couldn't make it, but I see a text message from someone else instead. It's from Leigh, and it's a few by the looks of it. Yo, eating dinner with my sis, and I saw some mail on my phone. You might want to check it out. It's about a group meeting up tomorrow. It's not often I get messages from people that aren't my parents. It's silly, but these little texts bring a small warmth to my chest. Yeah, I got a class right before it. But I should be fine. I hope I don't sound too formal. Even my parents make fun of the way I text. So you let her know, we can just push it back 30 minutes. I'll be fine. It won't be a stress if you say so. Have you eaten yet? Not yet. I figured. This is why I ask. Jesus, kid. You better make yourself some food or get some. Okay? Okay. I understand. I'll go get some now. Good. I'll catch you tomorrow. My sis says hi too. That brings a smile to my face. I can't wait to meet her. I hope the both of you have a good night then. He doesn't respond to that, but the swelling in my stomach stops me from overthinking it. He doesn't respond, but the swelling in my stomach stops me from overthinking it. He's right about food, though. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten much today. The Chinese place down the road should still be open. I'll get something from there tonight. I don't have any groceries to cook anything in the shared kitchen anyway. When I return, take out food in hand. My eyes immediately fall onto the diary. It's still exactly where I left it, tossed haphazardly onto the deck at the end of my bed. I can't exactly return it, so I guess it couldn't hurt to read it. Plus, I might be able to figure out who the diary belongs to. Leigh spots me pretty fast, and amused expression on his face. I can feel his eyes saying, I told you so, like a parent scolding their child. He leans back on his chair. Nonchalantly, I can see his ripped up jeans. I wonder if they're generally whipped or just a stylistic choice. Either way, he's definitely out of place. As I walk closer, he gives me that same gentle smile from yesterday. It's really his best feature. It turns him from some intimidating thug to a handsome thug. It's hard to explain. It's just filled with so much charm that it really pulls his whole outfit together. Across the table from him isn't too surprising. It's a fox I sat next to yesterday. He's attention and a squirrel on his phone. I wonder if he just doesn't know it's being approaching and I walk over to a possum. He doesn't react much. Can I sit here? He looks up at me and gives a surprisingly gentle smile. Did I tell you not to be scared around me? Sorry, it's not you. I'm just being overly cautious. I can tell you look pretty fucked up. Take it easy. So his eyes flick over to me and my voice catches in my throat. I just nod in silence and sit down next to him. Sitting next to him is comforting. I can't really explain, but I feel safe. I should make Lucas sit with him next time. Maybe that'll stop him from looking like he's about to blow up. It looks like Lily is sitting next to him and is chatting to him quietly. I can't make out what they're talking about, but it seems to be helping Lucas out. I didn't even notice how frazzled his tail looked and how tense his arms were. Maybe I should talk to him after class is over. Okay, students, quiet down. The room goes silent almost instantly, everyone turning to face the professor. It's an especially big hassle for Leigh and myself. With the professor behind us, we have to turn around, and I was here to see her. I'll pass the sign-in seat around. Then we'll get started. I'm barely able to pay attention, my eyes straining to focus on the professor. My short nap definitely wasn't enough. At least we're finally discussing things with our groups. I don't think I could focus on the professor for a moment longer. Lily's regurgitating what I told her earlier, but it just sounds like white noise to me. Kid. That almost snaps me out of it as I look over to Leigh. He's got that concerned look on his face again. You're about to smack your face on the table with the way you're nodding forward, just laying against me. We're in public. I'm not a child. He just rolls his eyes at that and turns back to the others. I think he's dropped it until I feel something wrap around my shoulder. Then I look down. It's his tail and it's pulling me towards him. It's stronger than I expected. I almost thump against him as he pulls me close. My ears burn, but I'm too tired to resist. The offer for relief is too tempting, my head coming to rest on his shoulder. My eyes glance up to look at him. He's not looking at me, but he's got a satisfied smile on his face. Time passes by slowly. The chatter around me is muffling to an indecipherable collection of noises. I want to go home and pass out as soon as possible. Barely any time must have passed, though, since Lily hasn't asked for my input on the diary yet. Instead of a blissful end of classes, my phone buzzes against my leg. I don't remember setting it to vibrate. I must have done it without thinking. I pull it out of my pocket. It's a text, but my eyes can't focus on the name. Opening the message, it displays only 2 words and the name and the sender. I'm sorry. I feel nauseous. It's as if a bucket of ice cold water had been dumped on me. All my fur bristles, and I'm suddenly very aware and uncomfortable with where I am. I can't. I can't be here. I need to leave now. Let's skip here. It's when he has a panic attack. Hey, kid, we okay? I don't stop to say anything. I just keep heading towards the exit. Yeah, Marcus, I'm sorry. Yeah. We're gonna skip to here now. It's Leigh, his expression is back to that stoic and composed look he tends to have. It's almost comforting to see how well he keeps himself together. You okay, kid? Huh? Oh, you okay? You look really fucked up in there. You still look like shit. I'm fine. It was just a really bad nightmare. What was it about? It's just a stupid nightmare. Don't worry about it. Leigh seems unperturbed. He's suddenly a lot harder to read. His expression is normally neutral, but he always seems to be surprisingly easy to read, at least to some degree. But right now, he's looking at me with a face as empty as a blank canvas. The possum walks over and sits next to me, a lot closer than I was expecting. Oh. I can't help but let out a squeak as he puts an arm around my shoulder. The physical affection is a stark contrast to his restrained personality. I thought you didn't like people touching you. I don't like it when others touch me. Very different. That makes sense, I think. So what was the dream about? I told you it's nothing. Ross, kid, I have a little sister. If there's one thing I can do is listening when something's bothering someone. Well, I was just dropped into a messed up version of this building and a few lingering seconds pass as I try to form the words to explain what happened. Leigh squeezes me tighter against him, not in a painful way, but as if he's trying to envelop me in his warm security. Despite it being such a simple gesture, it helps calm some of my nerves. I ran into someone being hung from a gallows. A gallows? What's that? It's where people used to lynch criminals, hang them with a noose. Oh. He doesn't add any more, but his furrowed brow and caring look in his eyes tells me everything. I tried to help him, but I couldn't. But when I try to help him, there's a little part of me that wants to back out here and not tell Leigh what I saw at the end, but Leigh's eyes are so concerned and he's watching me with such intensity, such worry, I can't just leave him hanging at the end. He's turned into you. Into me. Yeah, I pulled off the hemp bag and you were hanging in the noose. I couldn't help you, and then I woke up. I'm sorry. I know that's weird, but I don't know why it was you that... Kid, calm down, it's okay. You can't control what your nightmares think of. I get them a lot, often of people I care about or even just friendly acquaintances around me. His hand is now rubbing along my shoulder. The warmth is soothing and comforting. I wish we could stay here forever, where there are no bad dreams or memories that haunt you at night. Thanks, though. My ears perk up at that, and I pull away from him so I can look up at his face. He's wearing that kind toothy smile that sparkles so rarely like a shooting star. For what? For trying so hard to help me. That must have been really scary to fuck you up this bad, but you still tried to help me, so thank you. It was such a silly moment, something so pure and so genuine that I can feel my eyes watering. With that overwhelming emotion, there was a single moment of clarity where I realized he's trying to make me feel better, that he's trying to comfort me any way he could. I don't know how to respond, and thankfully I don't have to, as the sound of many footsteps suddenly rumble down the hallway. He gives me one last comforting squeeze before standing back up, whether it's to preserve his reputation or just to avoid questions. I'm not sure. Around the corner comes Lily and the other two members of our group. I quickly get up off the step, not wanting them to be too worried about me. I don't think it'll be too successful, but I have to try. She has a look of shock on her face when she sees us at the stairs, and her sudden stop almost causes the other two to walk into her. Oh, I didn't think you guys would be here. Are you doing okay? You looked really upset earlier. I'm doing much better now. Leigh helped me out a lot. Leigh doesn't respond, but a toothy smile does cover his face, and he's looking down at me with so much care in his eyes. I can't help but feel my heart beating a little faster. I'm glad you're doing better, but you probably shouldn't head home right away. You're probably still rather vulnerable, and no one should be alone after a panic attack. Yeah, I understand. You're probably right. Are we going back to class? Oh no, I talked to the professor. He said we could leave early. I just explained that we had already decided on a topic earlier. I wanted to make sure you were okay. Looks like the meeting yesterday wasn't just for fun, though it was definitely fun. We gotta do it again sometime. Lily giggles at his childish enthusiasm, but Lucas and Leigh are ignoring him, focusing on me instead, their neutral expressions hiding what they're thinking. The atmosphere of having everyone together is warming and relaxing. It really does feel like I'm surrounded by a group of friends. I do have more classes today, so I can't stay around, but I'm sure there's someone else who has finished all their classes for the day, guys. I don't go to my other classes anyway. I was going to the library to study. It's quiet there if you know where to go. I'm finished for the day, but I do have to go pick up my sister. She has soccer club on Wednesdays, and so it'll be done soon. I don't like to leave her to walk home alone. You can come though. I think you'll like her. There'll be two of us to keep your mind off things. Might help. His tone of voice doesn't sound sure, but he's giving me his toothy smile regardless. It's warm, reaching his eyes. A look of surprise crosses Lucas's face like he hasn't been expecting Leigh to smile, or maybe he just noticed something I didn't. The focused look on his face suggests the former. Plus, I promise you I'd tell you about my sister today after class. What better way than to meet her? I'm all cleared out for the day too. We're just going to head over to the gym for a swim though. We'd love it if you came along. Though, Wallace. Not often I get to show off my swimming abilities. It's what we artists were built for, you know. I feel like it isn't his swimming skills he wants to show off. Looks like you got a lot of options. I'm gonna head off to get some food before the next class. I'll text you later to make sure you're doing good, okay? Yeah, thanks. I'm sure I'll be fine though. I bet you will too. Doesn't mean I don't get to be worried. And with that, she skips up the stairs. She seems to always have this positive aura about her. It's infectious. I already miss having her presence in the group. So, Wallace, who you going with? Oh, sorry. Going with Leigh. This is rude here. You don't mind if I tag along with you, Leigh? Of course not, kid. I offered after all. Plus, I did offer to tell you more about her, so I'll tell you on the way. Damn, was hoping I could snag him up for myself, but looks like he's into the store type. What? Or are you into the protective daddy type? He looks like one of those, doesn't he? Leigh just glares at Oscar with a sidelong stare, but Oscar's smile only grows. His tone is light-hearted, so I don't think he's actually upset, just teasing the two of us. I'm kidding. Lighten up, man. He even pats Leigh on the shoulder as he tries to smooth things over. It looks like Leigh considers shuffling out of Oscar's reach before he eventually resigns himself to it with a sigh. I figure as much. I have a feeling you don't exactly need the kid to satisfy yourself anyway. Oscar's grin widens even more, and his eyes look like they're twinkling. You make me out to be some kind of predator, stalking his prey. Guess I do look big, don't I? Their banter brings a smile to my face. While they don't get along, it's not hostile enough to be upsetting. Instead, it's just funny. But it feels like something's off, as if something's missing. Alright, Lucas, there's no way he wouldn't have commented on what Oscar just said. It's just begging to be latched onto. Looking around, I can see Lucas isn't even with the rest of us anymore. Instead, he's slowly walking up the stairs. He catches my eyes and stops to turn towards me. I'll head off to the library then. I don't exactly like being here. Alright, sorry. I've been keeping you here. No, you're fine. Believe me. Just focus on getting better, alright? I'll message you later. Okay, I'll be ready for it. I'm already feeling better, thanks. His smile grows ever so slightly, but it looks somber. I think he wanted me to come with him to the library. It must be lonely there, all by yourself. I would invite him, but I think he wants some time alone. I'll have to make it up to him later. He gives me a tiny wave as he heads up the stairs. His dark furred paw is quivering slightly, a sign that he's not doing as well as he's letting on. A twinge of guilt bubbles in my chest, but I push it down. He'll be alright. My attention is suddenly grabbed by a firm grip on my shoulder. I swing my head around only to come face to face with Oscar's grinning face. Well as face to face as I can with how much he towers over me. I'm gonna head off to the gym. I'll catch you around. He gives me a firm pat on the back, the impact almost knocking me forward. There's a flash of worry on the author's face before going back to normal once he sees I'm alright. Regaining my composure, I'm able to reply to him with only a light flushing to my ears. Yeah, I'll see you around. That brightens his grin even more, his white face barely able to contain his massive smile as he skips up the stairs. That leaves Leigh and myself alone. There's a return to comfortable silence that always seems to permeate whenever Leigh is around, a secure and safe feeling. You ready to head off, kid? Or do you need to sit down for a bit more? Leigh's deep voice rumbles next to my ear, sending a shiver up my spine. He's standing right behind me, a look of concern covering his face. Don't we need to pick up your sister? I'm going for a teasing tone to try and lighten up the mood, but it comes out sounding forced. We left class early. We have some time. He gently grabs my arm, his other hand lightly rubbing against my back in a slow and relaxing motion. As tempting as it is to let Leigh dote on me, I know that it would be unfair to keep him worrying. I really am feeling much better now. I can even head home. It won't be a problem. No, I'm not going to leave you alone. Not after all that. There's no hesitation in Leigh's reply, his eyes firm and resolute, his grip on my arm even tighter. After a moment, though, the possum's eyes soften and he removes his hands from my arm and back. Unless you want me to, I'm not going to keep you here by force. Worry and concern are plastered all over his expression. Fear for my well-being, even though others might see it as neutral or stoic, just spending a little time with him really shows you this. Spending a little time with him really allows you to see all the little hints of emotion he shows. His furrowed brow, his soft eyes, flattened ears, and lastly his tight lips, they tell me everything he's feeling. It makes my heart race and ears flush. I've never had someone who wasn't my parents treat me like this. No, I want to. I swear I just don't want to be a burden to you. That causes his eyes to widen and his ears to erect upwards, the insides of them turning a slightly darker shade of pink. You're not a burden. His normally calm composure breaks, his voice more hasty than usual. There's no fury there, but more like fear or indignation. His outburst leaves me speechless, and there's a palpable silence between us. Noticing my sock, Leigh's ears flatten, and his face returns to his calmer expression. You're not a fucking burden. Trust me. Still love to meet you. You're not a fucking burden. Trust me. Still love to meet you. He looks around in an uncharacteristic self-nervousness before letting out a sigh and returning to meet my stunned stare. And I enjoy it too. Cracking that newly formed stoic mask, he gives me a soft smile. It's different from his usual smile. It's more vulnerable and gentle. It's enough to jog me out of my stunned petrification, and I give him a slow nod. Walking past me towards the stairs, Leigh gives me a nudge with his head to indicate that he wants me to follow him. As we walk down that familiar alleyway, the silence between us still lingers. Leigh's outburst has left a strong tension. After a couple more steps, I'm able to gather up the courage to ask him what's on my mind. So, what was that about? It's nothing. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have asked. A bit of quiet agony passes before Leigh follows up. My younger sister used to call herself a burden a lot, you know? You remind me of her. Does she still call herself one? Not anymore. What's he like? You seem to be really affectionate towards her, if you don't mind me implying so. He gives a soft chuckle. It's warm, and the tension that was lingering around us melts away. She's great, sweet, energetic, and kind. His normally firm green eyes are soft and filled with love. There's no need for words to describe how close the two of them are. And a brat, but I love her. She sounds amazing. She is. I see a lot of her in you. Really? Yeah, you're like a flower bud or a little egg. Okay. I'm unsure if I should be offended by that or not. Leigh doesn't seem like the insulting type, but it feels like a little condescending, excuse me. I don't mean that in a bad way. You're so pure, not like Oscar. I notice you are always glaring at him. Did he do something? He's fine. He just has ulterior motives. Is this about all the flirting he does? So he noticed. I wasn't exactly sure. He's so casual to the point where I'm not sure if he's just being friendly or being flirty. I don't dislike him. He's just manipulative. He knows what he wants. Well, he knows what he's doing. I don't think he's bad. He helped me on the first day of school, and he has been really nice. He's very sincere most of the time. Leigh raises his eyebrow at that last bit suspiciously, but he doesn't press me on it. I'm not blind to what he's doing. I'm just a bit overwhelmed. Sometimes he's so forward. He opens his mouth as if to say something, but only shuts it a moment later. He shakes his head, grinning to himself like he's just discovered something amazing. Shit, alright. You're not a kid, sorry. I almost jump as he playfully whacks his tail against my hip. A low rumbling laugh quietly resounds next to me. Turning my head towards him as we get closer to the end of the alleyway, I can't help but be surprised by how different Leigh is when Leigh is when it's just me and him. He's so much more open and caring. It's really sweet. So you're interested? In what? Oscar, he's being pretty forward that he wants to fuck you. Everyone knows it. Everyone? Yeah, Lily definitely knows. And Lucas told Oscar that he's not the fallback guy before he came to class today. Of course he said that. That explains the hostility when it came to class today. That feels so long ago now. So are you? It's a simple question, but it raises some complex feelings. Not really. Don't get me wrong. He's really attractive. He's super nice, but I stumble over my words, sounding like an absolute mess, and feeling like an insecure teenager. Thankfully, Leigh gives me all the time I need to form my words. But he's just a bit too forward. I'm not sure I want something that casual, at least not for my first time. It's a small reaction, but Leigh's ears flicking stands out like a lighthouse with his reserved expression. You want your first time to be special? Well, yeah, who doesn't? Oscar has experience, which I'm sure will help, but I'm worried it won't really mean much. Leigh doesn't respond to that. There's only the sound of our pattering, footsteps, and the sound of other students using the same walkway. Eventually the silence is broken by an unlikely sound. Leigh laughing is warm and filled with an unexpected amount of emotion, more than I'm used to hearing from him. It catches me off guard, and I nearly trip, but I catch myself narrowly dodging a repeat of Monday's incident. Looking back over at Leigh, I can see his green emerald eyes are looking up and away. They are distant but full of warmth, looking nostalgic as he stares at the clouds. You remind me of her a lot. Before I can even reply, he places his hand on my shoulder. His grip is gentle, a stark contrast to the texture of his hands. Even against my shirt, I can hear the friction between the fabric and his skin. Just don't get caught up on the small stuff, okay, kid? Just make sure you do what makes you happy. Even though we're in an alleyway, we're certainly not alone. While not a popular path, there's still a decent amount of students using this as a shortcut. But Leigh doesn't falter. Even as we reach the end of the alleyway and onto the sidewalk of a busy street, it's like he's completely unaffected by the world around him, unashamed to show his affection. I, however, don't have such fortitude, and the eyes of all the people near us are almost as terrifying as my dream. Noticing my dilemma, Leigh pulls away with one final pat, picking up his pace to a regular walk now that we're separated. Quickening my pace to keep up, I can't help but feel like I should breach the topic we set up earlier. So your sister plays soccer? More like she's obsessed with it. She's constantly trying to watch it or play it. She's a real handful, too rowdy. Why are we picking her up anyway? That catches him off guard, his face shifting to a more serious expression. Is only a bit different than his normal one, but it gives off a threatening vibe. It reminds me of the first time I saw him in class. I don't want her to walk home alone. She could get hurt. There's been a nagging feeling that's been bugging me for a bit, and while it's not my place to ask, this feels like the most appropriate time to bring it up. Do you have any other family? You always bring up your sister, but you never bring up any parents. I don't mean to intrude, but I just thought I should ask. Leigh seems to sink deep into thought, staring down at the ground as we walk. I can't imagine what's going through his head. We walk in silence once more, the daylight above us still strong, even if it's beginning to drop down to the horizon. It's not until after we turn off the central street onto a more quiet side road that Leigh begins speaking again. She's all I got left. Well, she's all I still consider family. Despite the millions of questions I have, it's best to stay silent. Leigh's moving at his own pace, and there's no need to rush him or force him if he doesn't want to say. My father is still alive, but he's dead to me. He says it so plainly, so unassumingly, it's almost comical how insignificant he makes it sound. But I don't know his circumstances. I can't pass any kind of judgment. Do you two live by yourselves? Yeah, I got custody of her when I turned 18. We live in a small apartment. It's not big, but it works. You can afford that in college? For now, I've been saving money for as long as I could work. It won't last, though. That's why I'm here. To get somewhere better for here. The mood darkens even as the sunlight pours down on us. The quiet street creating a melancholic atmosphere. The distant sound of people back on the previous street enhances the southern mood. She's been through a lot, and I want to make sure things stay good for her. Leigh's staring at the ground now, his demeanor a lot less rigid than usual, lacking the confidence he usually exudes. It feels almost like a cry for help, and my body moves before I can think or stop it. My hand reaches out to him. The soft white fur is a stark contrast to the black of his leather jacket. Placed my hand on his shoulder, just as he had done to me. Wanted to give him some kind of reassurance back, but I want to give him some kind of reassurance back, but I'm not giving a chance to say anything. Before I can think, a thunderous clap runs through my head, and my brain isn't able to process any kind of information. All I can feel is my body reacting instinctively and the beginnings of a throbbing headache. After a few moments, which were likely all within a second, I'm able to process what happened. The first thing I feel is pain. Suddenly thrust back into full consciousness, I'm kneeling on the ground, holding my face tightly as pain throbs through my head. There's a sickly, flowing feeling running through the front of my face, blood slipping through the gaps in my fingers, my white fur darkening to a shade of red. Shit, fuck it. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Leigh's shuffling about with something next to me, but I'm still trying to process the last couple of seconds. The pain in my nose surges once more, but it's less intense than before, and I'm finally able to understand what just happened. After touching Leigh's shoulder, he suddenly thrust his elbow back. It crashed right into my face with a lot of strength behind it. The pain itself was finally shrinking down into a dull ache. I don't think any serious damage is done, but blood is still flowing, albeit not as strongly. Here, kid, take it. I can barely see through the water in my eyes. The only thing I'm able to make out is a sea of red. It takes me a moment to realize it's Leigh's red shirt. Huh? My voice is nasally and muffled from my hands, but thankfully still understandable. I try to lift my head to look up at Leigh, but a surge of pain forces me to keep my head low to stop the blood. I don't have any tissues or a bandana on me, so just use that. No, I can't. It'll be completely ruined. Just use it. It'll be fine. It's red. I got tons more of these. My work ruins at least one of these a week. Before I can argue, he grabs my wrist firmly, but he's careful to not be rough. He pulls them away slowly, and I can hear drops of blood patter against the ground. Looking at my hands, I can see the fur around my pads is tainted. Around my pads. Looking at my hands, I can see the fur around my pads is tainted a deep red. They're going to take a lot of cleaning when I get home to not stay pink. Past them, I can see drops of blood on the pavement. There's a lot less than I'd been expecting, only a couple of splotches, even as more drips down. Here, Leigh tries to lift my head, but a whine of pain causes him to stop. I can't see his expression, but the way he's hesitating tells me everything. Kid, take it. His voice is a swirling pull of concern and fear. There's even a tremble in his voice. Not able to stand the guilt, I swallow my pride and take the makeshift towel, pressing it against my nose. Without another word, there's a surge of pain as I apply pressure, but it quickly subsides back to a normal, subsides back to a smaller, throbbing ache. After a few more seconds of recovering, I attempt to get back up on my feet. Leigh quickly shuffles over to my side. With his usual tenderness, he guides me to a standing position. Even afterward, he keeps supporting my body, a hand on either shoulder as he stands by my side. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. It's okay. No, it isn't. I was jumpy, but that doesn't excuse almost bringing your shit in. There's so much emotion in Leigh's voice, a lot of pain and anger, but not directed at me. He's being unfair to himself. As it's happened, Leigh, it's really okay. I know you wouldn't hurt me on purpose. You're too nice. He relaxes at the sound of that, though he never takes his arms off me. He seems to have gotten most of his composure back, at least his face returning to a much calmer expression. I used to get into a lot of fights, especially when I was younger. I tried to grow out of it, but some habits die hard. There's a familiar silence. I'm not quite sure what to say or if there's anything I can say at all. Leigh doesn't give me much of a chance before he continues. I promise you, I will never ever hurt you again. Now let's get you to the club, kid. I'll check up on you when we're there, but for the look of it, your nose seems pretty fine. That's good.